Hello, my name is Fawaz Haloum. Today I'm going to be presenting to you a Coptic icon, which I found very beautiful, that showcases or depicts the Virgin and Child theme of theology. As you can see also in my background, it will be accompany us. I will show us, I'll go in greater depth in this very particular Virgin and Child, but I will also show us some of the different ones. Let's get started. So first of all, in making this video, I was very fortunate that Father Anthony of St. George's Church of Ottawa, Coptic Orthodox Church, gave me his time and spoke with me on Zoom. He illuminated me and gave me some really incredible insights as to how is theology transmitted through iconography, and he told me that Isaac Fanous's iconography is actually very appreciated in the Coptic tradition, as he revived something that was long lost, which I wasn't 100% sure whether it was. I found that very incredible. It was a very nice encounter. So to begin with, other things he told me and we learned in this course, that iconography, he said, it's not a drawing, it's written. That's why he said in Coptic faith also, as we learned in this course, they don't call them artists, they call them drawing. And the point of icons back in the day was because, as we also learned, most people were not literate, and this was a great way to transmit theology through photos which were not bound by realism here. Rather, it just supposed to depict a message through an image. However, regardless of the shapes and colors. Moving on, here are some of the beautiful depictions of the Virgin and Child icon by Dr. Isaac Fanous that I was able to find. I found this very interesting stamp from 2013 Royal Mail. Here it shows Virgin Mary without the 3 stars on the scarf. And then we can see 3 other depictions, two from 1978, very early ones, and the 4th I was not able to identify when it came from. All right, now we will be going into a bit greater detail into how we can read into a Coptic icon. So there are certain things that make Coptic icons, or especially the Neo-Coptic style of art, that has been revived by the great artist, professor of theology and art, Isaac Fanous, is that it looks very emphasized, and it looks very refined. So for instance, if you were to look at the eyes, you can notice that there are large, wide eyes, and the large, wide eyes are not supposed to be anatomical. They're not supposed to be symmetrical. They're supposed to be symbolic of a spiritual eye that looks behind the material world. And this comes from the scripture from Matthew 6:20. The lamp of the body is the eye. If therefore your eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. Moving on, we will be going into greater depth into other aspects of a traditional Coptic icon, how to read into it. And then we will be focusing more in depth onto our Coptic, our Virgin and Child, in my background here in this discussion. So first of all, we can notice that other than the large and wide eyes, we also have a small mouth and a small nose to contrast it. A small mouth, the symbolism in it is how the saint controlled the mouth of Jesus, and how it was often the source of empty and harmful words. And then for a small nose, it was symbolic of sensuality, represented desire. We can also see how the Virgin Mary always seems to be depicted to the right of Christ. Here we can see that some of the symbolisms, whenever we see the Theotokos and Coptic iconography, is, for instance, that Saint Mary is always to the right, again, as we said, from the scripture, at your right side stands the queen, wearing jewelry of finest gold from Ophir, Psalm 45:9. All right, and now back to the icon that actually captured my heart and my attention when I first saw it in the awesome article by Monica Rene, suggested and signed to us by Dr. Adriana Bara, which made me fall in love with the Coptic art tradition and really learn a lot more about Copts and their history uh, and things of that sort. So this here is a 1993 version and child icon, and the Holy Virgin Mary Coptic Orthodox Church in Los Angeles, California. Some of the things Father Anthony discussed with me is that icons are seen as windows into heaven. They allow us to see much more than the person depicted. And Fanous attempted to revive this codex of iconography, which was lost at the time in Egypt due to influences that tried to take away art from theology in the region uh, during certain ages in the 14th and 15th century, according to the Father Anthony. And that iconography is, you could say, it's cultural theology. And I found that to be a very beautiful way of describing it. Moving on, we will be getting more in depth into certain things depicted here. So, for instance, for the two angels, first of all, we have the fact that these angels here, they have the spear of the Roman soldier, as we know from the soldier Pilate, who washed his hand of Jesus Christ's blood and repented, and some say he even believed in Jesus eventually. And the other angel, they both have halos. The other angel have a cross. He's holding a cross staff and has a red ribbon on his shoulders, which is not to be mistaken with the same symbolism that we will be later shown in Jesus Christ's red garment. This is just kind of akin to what the religious Coptic people wear, a red collar. The red scarf, again, depicts the priest wearers. So we have the symbolism, the spear, and the wine that was given to Christ, the vinegar on this thing on the next to the spear. And the angels are supposed to be Michael and Gabriel. In Byzantine art, they usually hold these instruments using veils as a sign of reverence in handling sacred objects. Now, we will be looking more into, for instance, things such as the eternal virginity depicted through the three stars of the Virgin Mary. So we can notice that the Saint Mary is showing us the way to salvation, and in it that she has her hand on Christ. We can also see that from the picture to the right, the shape of Mary's hand as well. Further, the way her hand is shaped tells us that she is interceding for all of creation, for in her hands she contains the uncontained God, master of heaven and earth. Child Jesus in her left hand reminds us of the verse Psalm 45:9. King's daughters are among your honorable women. At your right hand stands the queen in gold from Ophir. We can see that on Christ there is no wounds, and he will be raised. The large heads are symbolic of the person having devoted his life to prayer and contemplation. And as for the three stars and Saint Mary, it symbolizes her virginity, as we learned in the course, and as Saint Anthony, not Saint Anthony, Father Anthony further shares with me. Uh, it symbolizes her virginity before, during, and after the birth of Christ. Stars have 8 points and were used by Vikings to reflect light and become a source of navigation. So it's as if Saint Mary is showing us the way, navigating us to salvation through her Son. And that is indeed very beautiful. We can also see that Saint Mary is having these things on her braids in her hair, which are the pharaonic influences in the Coptic iconography from the pharaonic age. Also, they are drawn in the crimson, red crimson, the blue, and the gold, which are the colors of royalty. Christ has his hand in the Ixtus Christus. And further, we can also notice that the writings on the iconography here says Jesus Christ, and Maria Theo Ponsus means the Virgin Mother. And now we can further see that, and the red cross and the red colors on Christ, uh, what they actually believe in the Coptic faith, that Christ is perfectly human and perfectly divine. So when he puts on the red, he puts on humanity, while the white he actually wears on truly by default is the white of pure divinity. That's the undergarment. But then he puts humanity on top. Divine person in God puts on humanity for the salvation of us, as explained by Father Anthony. Uh, Virgin Mary's Church and Boissard as Isaac Fanous' icon, if someone would like to check it out. I intend to do so once the restrictions are lifted up. Embed ancient Egyptian identity into the modern Neo-Coptic iconography, which we can see through the braid things that we know from pharaohs. The letters on the scroll, the Alpha and the Omega, comes from the scriptures. I am the Alpha, I am the Omega. And it can also, Jesus was the only one that was worthy to loose the scrolls in the book of Revelations, symbolic of the universe, Job 9:8. He alone spreads out the heavens and treads on the waves of the sea. And it also symbolizes the book of life and the true teacher, the way, the truth, and the life. Also, we can see one finger on Jesus' left hand symbolizes the unity of the Trinity as one God and blessing the people. In icon 1, we can see also that the Jesus has an adult face and high eyebrow, and also that he has no wounds depicted. Moving on, the inconsistency of the shadows is actually something very beautiful. Isaac Fanous and his genius nuances, how you can notice that on Mary's body here, you can see how the shadow is inconsistent with that of Christ. And the reason being is because Christ is the light, and that's why he shines the light on her. That's why her shadow is kind of the opposite side. This is just some of the incredibly genius nuances Isaac Fanous incorporated in this beautiful tradition. Also, we can notice that the halos, all the saints have golden halos, and whereas Jesus has a cross in his, reflects the light that is radiating from within. Jesus looks away from us, also, we can see, because he's shown the world that his kingdom is not of this world. As we can read from John 18:36, Jesus answered, "My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, my servants would fight so that I should not be delivered to the Jews, but now my kingdom is not from here." Further, we can see there are grooves around the halos. The gap between earth and heaven shows that the saints have made heaven, earth, and earth heavens. The two eyes in these icons, the depicted have two eyes, which symbolizes purity and holiness. Shows that the depicted is not embarrassed or ashamed from anything. The one who is ashamed of his sins, faults, and mistakes always hides his face and his eyes. This is seen in the icon of the Last Supper, where Judas is always drawn with one eye. Again, Jesus is also drawn profile. Depicted are looking straight ahead. This is not the same when evil is being drawn as shown in the Last Supper with Judas, who is drawn side because it is not worthwhile to focus on. Make eye contact with such a person. Saint Barbara and Saint Nufer Coptic Orthodox Church in Sydney 14 have such depictions. Also, the dark to light painting. The artist always lays the dark colors first, followed by the lighter colors. This is symbolic of the enlightenment that took place in the depicted event. Spiritual life, start small, grow big. As for the meaning of the colors and Coptic icons, for red, we associate glory, honor, rich, sacrifice. White, purity and divinity, as we discussed. Um, Pale, dark is green, sin, evil, but we don't have this in our icon. Blue and brown are not really relevant to our particular case. Further, we have here Um, our these here are also some of Isaac Fanous's traditional Coptic iconography technique of extempora, where he never actually uh, darkens colors. He just starts dark and lightens from above. He lays on a layer after layer of light until he brings the light from within. And you can see it beautifully nuanced here and those wrinkles of Jesus, baby Jesus's um, robe. And this here, just to conclude the video, I can tell you more, but this video has already dragged on for a while. Just want to give a quick, mention of Isaac Fanous, the great artist who drawn all these beautiful icons we've seen and revived the ancient, beautiful Coptic iconography tradition, and really did a service to humanity that is truly invaluable. Thank you, and may you rest in peace. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.